Good evening, everybody. Dr. Glow here with Black Girl Everything. I'm so excited to be on our amazing Monday night as we have our panel series, the first Monday of every single month. So I have some great panelists with me today to have an amazing conversation around authentic branding. Now, we know branding is a key in the base of our organizations. Is honestly the base of your life as being the CEO of your own life is about who are you and what is your brand. So we're going to have a exciting conversation about that today. But before we get started, I'm going to give the floor over to our panelists who is going to share a little bit about themselves. So Sheena, let's start with you.
Oh, thank you for that, Dr. Glow. Black girl, everything is everything. So, yes, my name is Miss Sheena D. Palmer. I am the director and CEO and operator of SQ Productions, LLC Public Relations Agency. And yeah, we've been around for a while. We have offices in not only New York, but also in Virginia, in Atlanta, and our newest office in California.
Ooh, I didn't know you made it out to Cali. Are you showing off a little bit, sitting here dropping dimes? Yeah, I'm in California
I
now too.
know. I
A little
can't. I
bit.
don't know how the hell I'm gonna top that.
Just a little
Top
bit.
that.
Look, I can show you how we did it too. No.
Oh, okay.
All right, show it off. All right, Dallas, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hola, my name is Sis Victoria. Happy New Year. Happy 2025 to everybody. I am a writer, author, speaker, host, interviewer, and all things authenticity, freedom, and truth. And so I utilize my own journey of how I stepped into authenticity, freedom, and truth to help people break societal expectations as well as just amplifying the true self within who they are so that they can set themselves free and just walk this earth being authentic and whatever it is personally and professionally.
All right, all right. I hear you. Fancy, 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 schmancy. So we're going to jump right into some of our questions for this evening to talk about, authentic branding and what that really looks like. So we're going to see where this conversation goes because we know any
Mhm.
Black Girl Everything conversation, when I have amazing Black women in the space with me, we can lead wherever we want to go based off our conversation. So just follow in and tune in. I'm watching definitely on the comments on Facebook. If you guys have any comments, please drop them in the chat over there and we can get to those questions if you have any along the way. So we're going to go ahead and jump into it. So Sheena, please talk a little bit about your personal journey since you've been around Miss. I'm in California. And, and how has authenticity played a role in that?
Well, I want to say authenticity is a big deal, especially when you're starting to build your business. First, you have to ask yourself, like, who are you? Like, what are the things that you have to offer to the world, right? And once you figure that out, then you start trying and you may fail, right? I failed miserably so many times before I've gotten to this point. And I'm talking about not a little tiny fail. I had to close up shop at least 3 times to revamp and know, okay, maybe this isn't me, or maybe this isn't me, or maybe this is how I'm supposed to enact and engage my audience. And the more I found out about myself, the more I was able to impact those that I was working for and or were partnering with, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've always been an educator at heart. So once I learned that, then I was able to say, okay, I'm an educator, but I'm also a connector. I'm an
Yeah.
educator, but then I'm also someone who likes structure and foundation. And now I'm able to build my business upon those foundations that I had to learn about myself.
Dope. 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 Does I'm ask you the same question about your personal journey. How did you get here to your authentic self?
Whew, it's a loaded question. I actually went the spiritual route and I did a deep, powerful dark night of the soul where I was able to realize that I was doing surface healing, that I wasn't really confronting my issues and my problems. And when 2020 hit, just like Sheena said, I had to close on my business because my spirit was just like, you're not paying attention. And God of my own understanding was like, what the hell are you doing? So I had to go through a process of mourning the loss of the old self and giving myself permission to allow cycles and behaviors and toxicity to just be buried into the wind, so to
Mhm.
speak. And I just had to like really elevate into the self that is authentic, true, and free instead of the perspective of what people perceived me to be, or how I thought I was supposed to show up as a recovering people pleaser, recovering hypochondriac, recovering panic attack, everything I was going through, and all of that stuff. So that was my process. And it freed me from a lot of stories I was telling myself that was not my truth. It freed me
Yeah.
from not really walking in authenticity. And once I did that, I pretty much discovered that this is the journey, this is a path. And due to the fact that I've been through a lot of adversity, abuse, and near death experience, I utilize all those things when I'm helping my clients, be it personally, professionally, to get them
Mhm.
to the other side where I'm encouraging them to just say, just jump, fuck it and jump, because that's so needed in life. And if you are so afraid to discover who you are, then you're gonna be walking around this life consistently being what you're not.
Ooh.
Mm.
All right. We starting off early here. Early. I love it. I love it. I love it. Um,
Mhm,
so there's so many words that are going through my mind behind that because finding who you are is the base of like really what is going to be your brand. And then I find that individuals don't realize as we continue to grow in our businesses, our brand can actually shift based off
mhm,
where we are today because where, Black Girl Everything was in 2020 is not what it is today. It's a
mhm,
totally different new animal. And that whole releasing who you were and who you are now is a process I had to go through just a couple of days ago realizing that I choose not to continue to manage the business the same way because it is different now. I have a whole
mhm,
location, right?
mhm,
I'm doing things differently than when I was just hosting pop-ups in my yard. Like things
mhm,
have grown beyond that. So it was a little bit of a grieving process to the point where it stunted my creativity and I couldn't move. And then
mhm,
somebody came over to see me at the store the other day and we just talked through it. And I was like, that's what it is.
mhm.
Will you just
That
grow up a
grieving.
little bit and realize that
Yeah,
maybe it's different? And I did. And
yeah.
it's been powerful. Yesterday was powerful. And today was even more powerful
Mhm,
because now I'm able to refocus back on growing the brand for where it is right now, which is a much
mhm,
better place. Not a better place. I'm going to say a different place because it's still magical.
mhm.
I find real dope. It's all
I
cool.
feel like you got to give yourself permission to grieve different parts of the seasons of life that you go through in your life. Because I'm grieving too from going through what I thought my business was and shifting it to going back to the roots of being a writer, author, speaker, and so on and
Mhm.
so forth. So I feel myself grieving through that process as well. But
Mhm.
also, with that comes with giving yourself an opportunity to allow space of opportunities to come in, instead of holding on to what is and what's no longer working, because we stay there in that point of stagnancy and feeling comfortable because it's nice and fuzzy inside. And I always say that I have a master's degree in being uncomfortable. I love being uncomfortable.
Ooh.
I like just sitting in the pain, and I like to just do a lot of introspection and questioning myself, like, girl, who the hell are you? What you want to be? And how you want to show up? And it's a constant thing for me because I'm such a master at being a student of life that I don't like stagnancy. I don't like feeling comfortable. Like once I start feeling comfortable, that's when the anxiety pops in. It's
Mhm.
not necessarily within the, being comfortable or uncomfortable. It's just like, okay, well, something's brewing and I don't know what it is, but I'm excited about it. It's scary. And some days I'm just like, should I go? Should I stay? Should I go? And to add to what Sheena was saying about like trying to figure it out and making all the mistakes and having to start all over and over again. I've done that one time too many to the point where people are like, I mean, exactly what the hell do you do?
Mhm.
Well, it's
Mhm.
so funny that you said that because S Cube started out as a event company. That's it, like planning
Hmm.
events, doing event production and stuff. Hence the name still stayed SQ Productions, right?
Hmm.
But then it went into a revamping of representing food and beverages companies only, like
Hmm.
working with food and beverage. Then we started connecting with a lot of the people that were in my circle that were in the entertainment industry, from music to sports, and then went into fashion as well. So then we got even more into journalism, and we were the first ones to live stream Small Boutique Fashion Week as journalists. So there were just so many things that we were doing just to say, okay, I'm just gonna do it. Like I
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
there, I just want to do it. And then whether it worked out in order for the longevity of the company itself, it's like it gave me that insight to what my fingers would be able to grow into, what the businesses would
Mm-hmm.
shape. So we were building, I believe, even the small failures like those, they turn into the building blocks of a successful business. You have to take that chance to fail
Mm-hmm.
and to say, you know what, I learned something. And then
Yeah.
from there, you go forward. You go forward
Yeah.
from it. It's like, okay, I'm not doing this, but I'm good at this. And
Mm-hmm.
people are afraid to find that out even about their personal selves. Like,
Yeah.
that dating wasn't for me in a certain season in my life, you know,
Yeah.
because I was focused on my business, or I was focused on being a mother, or I was focused on maybe my spiritual life. But at
Mm-hmm.
that time, while everyone's like, oh, even your parents, like your parents will try to be, oh, you need to be married, oh, you need to do this, or friends, like you need to do that. I need to do things that are for me, that also
Absolutely.
my future self is going to thank me for. And I believe my business is definitely bringing back that beautiful process of things that were wrong, but now they're right. You know,
Mm-hmm.
or can't even say wrong or right. It
Mm-hmm. It
happens
just is.
sometimes. Yeah, it is. You know, this is the time for this. Now it's time for that. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
a lot of people don't see that. And as entrepreneurs,
Girl, talk about it. Talk about
baby,
it so the people in the back can hear you.
baby. And then when you're a serial entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
don't hide. I always tell people, don't hide your failures. Everything, no, is not for the public. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
But don't hide your failures. Be able to set some sort of groundwork for the next person after you a little bit. You know,
Yep.
like if you have someone that's looking to do the same thing that you're doing, it's like, oops, I failed at that. But
Mm-hmm.
you might have a great
You
time.
try that if you want to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You gonna come back to me 3 months later and be like, why you ain't come? I tried to.
But even so, my thing is where I failed at could be where someone excels, right?
True.
I'm
Absolutely.
not going to take that from them. So I always say, hey, this is what I did. It didn't work for
Mm-hmm.
me, but it could possibly work for you and what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. So we're going to slide into our next question. We're talking about, you both have really clearly identified how you've able to grow out your businesses, right? But when we go back to the base of branding, we're talking about our cultural identities. Like how much of you is placed inside of your organization? Sheena, is at the tip of your tongue. I see it's right there.
Everybody know I'm a Christian. Like everybody. And when I meet with my clients, I go through a process. And so I am methodical naturally. I'm a methodical person. I believe in the foundation of things. To be able to build upon that. I believe that not all energies mix either. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
you work with just anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my business has parts of me that was the internal auditor for Nespresso. Then
Mm-hmm.
my business also has parts of me that is the creative, the one that wants to create and do and see a vision and make sure that I'm capturing the vision of the person I'm working with as well. So when it comes to my business, first and foremost, I let them know, hey, I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to do what I'm skilled with and what I've been blessed with in order to grow your company and brand your company or work with you. But understand I'm doing it as a woman of color. And I'm also doing it as a believer in Jesus Christ. So there's going to be things I'm not going to do as well. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be upfront and let you know when I cannot do something. Like that's not in my purview. So it's like, hey, I can't do that. So I can hook you up with somebody that can do that, but
Yeah.
I cannot do that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done it several times because I believe in being transparent about what my capabilities are. And then from there, we're able to get into a little triage. I have a nice little form that I have that I fill out while I'm talking to my people. I'm personable. I like to speak to you. I don't want you filling out things online and, just facing a computer screen before I get to work with you. I want to meet you. I want to see your disposition. So I actually carve out time, a 30-minute assessment that I do with clientele before I even work with them. Because again, all energies do not mix. So
Yes. Yeah.
that's
I
me.
get it. So
You
you're
know,
personal, you're lovey-dovey, you love Jesus Christ, and you love on everybody you connect with.
That's right.
right? And that's just the base of your business. Thank you. I love it. So Adela, what about you? So how much of you comes forward in your business?
All of me,
All
Mm-hmm.
right. And why do you think
emotionally,
that's important?
mentally, spiritually. I think it's important because I want people to know that I've been where you are. You're in good company. There's a lot of trial and error. I am perfectly imperfect. Don't have that misconception that because I'm an entrepreneur, I have it all together because I'm still winging it. I'm still trying
Yeah.
to figure things out. Not one thing is the same from the other. And I share my struggles, I share my experiences when I'm talking to my clients. And also, I ask them, like, what is your definition of authenticity? What is your definition of truth? What's your definition of freedom? And how much are you willing to share of yourself when it comes to your business and how you want to connect with your people? It's about evoking emotions and feelings and building those authentic relationships and connections. So it's very
Mhm.
important for me to speak my truth and say about who I am and if this works for you or not, if I am aligned with you or not, because I'm a very no fluff, BS type of person. I do have a potty mouth. I'm a cuss because that's just me.
Mhm.
But I do it with love, and compassion
Yeah.
and empathy
Mhm.
because I'm an intuitive, so I can tap in easily to what a person's feeling, what they're thinking. I
Yeah.
get the downloads, I get the messages. I'm like, no, 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 that's not what you want to do because your spirit is telling me otherwise. So speak your truth. You're
Mhm.
here in a good, safe environment. There's no judgment. Whatever it is that you want to do, I don't care if it's flying monkeys and eating peanut butter and jelly. I don't care what it is. We're gonna make the best out of it, and we're gonna make it make sense.
Yeah, that's dope. First of all, I love peanut butter and jelly.
Me too.
Like I can live for it. Like I love it. Like I love it to
I'm
death.
allergic, so I was like,
Oh, you do have
Oh,
an allergy, but sorry, I'll eat it all for you because it's like
me
amazing.
too.
Okay,
Me
it was
too.
like me
It's
and
so good.
Charnay all through college. It was
there you
like
go.
that was my best meal.
Just have it all.
It was definitely good. But yeah, but connecting with people and like being authentic for me, especially with Black Girl Everything. I think the honestly, I didn't start this really for me. I started it for to connect with
Mhm,
other people. Like Sheena was one of the first people that was invited to the first event that I was ever doing that started this organization. Didn't happen because the governor said no, you got to close down shop. But it
mhm,
ended up birthing what this is today, right? But it's always just been
mhm,
what I wanted to do. And it's been a lot of things I've tried over the years, a lot of things I've pivoted about the brand and gone here and gone there. But it's always came back to the same base that I love supporting other people. I'm a
Mhm.
supporter in
mhm,
some ways. I'm also a promoter, so all those things work for me.
mhm,
But it just aligns with it makes me feel good, to watch people
mhm.
win and to see people do the things that they really want to do, not the things that the people are telling they're supposed to be doing. So
Yeah.
really excited about that. But those things come with challenges, don't they?
Whew.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
Adela,
It does.
talk to me a little bit about what challenges you have faced as a Black woman and an entrepreneur.
Mm, um, I think the challenges that I face being a Black woman entrepreneur is working with other Black women and entrepreneurs. That's
Ooh,
one of the challenges I face because
Mm.
yes, I'm Black, but I'm also Caribbean descent. So oftentimes it's like,
okay.
oh, you're not really Black because my mother's from Belize, my dad's from Haiti. So I have that. And then it's just like, oh, you have that good hair. And I'm like, what is the definition of good hair? I don't really understand it. Or because they feel like I'm pretty. So it's like, you must have like a really bad disposition. And then when people meet me and speak to me, it's like, oh my gosh, she's actually sweet and she's authentic and she's genuine and she's loving and she's caring. So I have all these things that have people have had this misconception or perceive me to be one way or the other. So that's why it's important when I'm meeting someone for the first time, they get to feel my energy and my compassion, how I truly love helping people. Those are the challenges that I've had. And then the other challenge too is just like when I have all of my accolades and my accomplishments just laid out. It's like, oh, you did that, or you did that. How you ended up doing that, and how the hell did that happen? I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and then I say, oh, which college did you go to? I'm, a master's degree in hard knock life. Like I dropped out of college because I didn't think it was for me, but I still have a certification in life coaching. I still have certification in, professional mentorship. I am a self-published author 4 times. Like I've been on Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Oz, I've done this, I've done that. And it's like, really? I'm like, yeah, like why is it those are the type of challenges I go through. So it's constantly having to feel like I have to prove who I am as a professional because I don't have the master's degree and this degree to prove it.
Mm.
Ooh. That's
Mhm.
interesting, especially coming directly from the doctor. I totally get it because the funny thing about it is even though me having a doctorate in certain spaces around certain
Mhm.
individuals, they still doubt my intelligence and
Mhm.
my capability.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah.
all right. Especially because I look like this. I walk in with my bald head and sometimes I wear a tie. So people be really like thrown off in certain spaces.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They think they are. I am who I am. And it just is what it is.
Mhm.
Right. So I get it. But working with other Black women can be a challenge because I find
Mhm.
that especially when people they have a hard time with what's new, right?
Mhm.
You're
Mhm.
new, you're a stranger, you're all these different things, and people first thing they want to do is put these walls up. And I'm good
Mhm.
at people's walls because I'm like masterful of like working through people's issues, right? And they don't even
Mhm.
realize I'm working through them. And then all of a sudden,
Mhm.
I just love you so much. I know you would.
Exactly.
I know you would love me.
Exactly. Mhm.
Even though you couldn't
Yeah.
stand me when you first saw me, you were so intimidating.
And I think too, because I'm gay, I came out 7 years ago, and
Okay.
it was hard for like family and friends. And like, I lost a lot of people in
Mhm.
my life because of that. I had to like literally um, remember who I was in my mental state of capacity, my emotional
Mhm.
state of capacity, and say, okay, well, this doesn't define who I am. This is just part of me. It's not the
Yeah.
whole me. And having to work through those spaces as well as being a gay black woman, a very educated gay black woman, even though I don't
Hmm.
have this or that, I still am
Hmm.
me. And to just walk in
Yeah.
that authenticity of who I am, like it's just been a lot with that. So it's just remembering who I am, the queen, the goddess, the warrior, the resilient person that I am, and just allowing
Hmm.
that to shine through and not worry about what other people say because it's like I speak and I say who I am, and it kind of like disrupts the energy. But then I realize it's disrupting the energy because I am doing something or saying something that another person is too afraid to admit to themselves that they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Girl, standing at you and welcome.
Mhm.
7 years ago, we happy to have you.
There you go. Right.
Exactly. We're happy to have you over here and that you are living in your truth 1000%. Get it,
Amen.
get it, get it.
Absolutely. All
So yeah,
day.
I'm gonna
All
slide into this question for Sheena. As we're talking about representation out here. Go
that.
ahead.
Hmm.
So Sheena, now representation
Oh, baby.
and
Um,
stereotypes.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that
Mm-hmm.
through creating your brand.
so there is usually a stereotype that a black woman doesn't belong in a boardroom.
Hmm.
A black woman is not professional, and don't let that black woman come from the Bronx, New York.
I lived in the Bronx.
I'm born and raised in the Bronx.
Hmm.
And then also, if you have a black woman that is a single mother,
Yeah.
you're gonna think that she's late all the time, or she's gonna, yes, I'm putting my kids before you guys. You can replace me any other time, But if you want the best of the best, you're gonna trust that I'm always on time,
Hmm.
even when I'm late.
Hmm. Right.
But like there's just so many things that as a black woman we feel like we also have to prove in other spaces. I remember the first time I was invited to the female quotient, and they had an event in New York City, and our table, so there was about 100 tables, each table sat 10 people.
Hmm.
I'm sitting there, and our table only had 4 black women
Mm.
for the entire event.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
This is pre-pandemic.
Mhm.
The feeling of having to always have to go into spaces and be the bravest, the smartest,
Hmm.
the most um I guess aesthetically, looking a certain
Hmm.
way
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
such. They want straight hair. I'm not giving you that. I had locks at the
Hmm.
time. It's like, I'm
Hmm.
not giving you that. I'm not giving you locks. I'm not giving you the, you know, the
The
twill,
sewing weave or the
or the weave.
wigs.
I don't wear
Hmm.
makeup.
Hmm.
I don't want to wear makeup. It's a
Hmm.
trauma for me. I don't want to wear makeup. It's not a thing for me.
Hmm.
It is a trauma for me. So they want you to wear the makeup. They want you to have the long nails and things like that. They want you, like, they expect something when they let black women in the room.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I say let because that's what it starts to feel like. We have to start telling ourselves and speaking differently in these spaces as well. And yes,
Hmm.
there's more black people that attend this event, but more Black women, I'm gonna say, that attend this event. But it's still, you can tell you are the eyesore in the room. And
Mm-hmm.
you have to be on point when having these conversations, knowing the most up to date news that is, particular to this event that happens, for those that are in media. And it's just, and then you come home and you're like, hey, I'm not appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
You feel that way at times. It's like, I'm not appreciated. I add value to this industry and I'm not appreciated. So being a Black woman in these spaces, we are in, especially in media, we are seen in media as entertainment. We are
Mm-hmm.
not seen in media as those who are the professionals behind the scenes making things happen. We are still seen as just the entertainment. And I feel like that it's been over time to be over with that
Mm-hmm.
stigma for us. So there's a couple of different things that I deal with on a day to day, and I'm on the road to getting my degree, just not in that. just not in just not in that, because I also want to be able to have the proper way of teaching those that are coming after me,
Yeah.
um,
Mm-hmm.
that space of, I don't know, it's like intelligence. What's that name of what I'm talking about? It's like a social intelligence or social emotional.
Emotional, is it
Mm-hmm.
emotional intelligence?
Yeah.
Yes, emotional intelligence. Because when you're in a room with people that are not like you should have
Mm-hmm.
enough emotional intelligence. One, we the only Black ones in here. Like, what we doing? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's
Mm-hmm.
happening? And they want to call it the code. No, that's emotional intelligence. Like, you don't have
Mm-hmm.
You
to cuss
already
out
know.
anybody. Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Are we out? Yeah, we out. This is not for us, right?
Or like they call it code switching.
Code switch. But why do we have to do that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
We
Mm-hmm.
should be able to show up as our authentic selves in these spaces,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they want us. Again, we're just the entertainment.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
it's allowing your authenticity to be your superpower in those moments where you're in those spaces where you
Hmm.
are showing up and representing you, who you are through and through, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, personally, professionally, all of it. You shouldn't have to downplay it. You shouldn't have to dim your light because another person or another race or ethnicity is threatened by you because that's their issue and problem, not yours. So how do you show up? You're showing up and you're gonna gravitate and attract who you're meant to
Hmm.
work with because it's going to be aligned effortlessly without you having to do anything.
Correct. And that's,
Yeah.
I want to see us building more of our own spaces. I do. I really want.
Mm-hmm.
I miss um, feeling like family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Feeling more like family than having to go out there and combat everyone else out there. Let's build our
Mm-hmm.
family first, and I love how Black Girl Everything has done that for us.
Yeah.
Um, just be a family, and then that way, when we do go out, we go out number one in numbers, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of numbers, and then number two, it's not required for us to go out to
Mm-hmm.
the white spaces that don't want us there. We're creating our
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest part about it. And I think that's one of the biggest wins we came out of 2020 when when Black women got a space to think a little bit, is that
yes.
a lot of these spaces have been created, and I'm including Black Girl Everything. There's a lot of other spaces that are very similar that does a lot of the same work where people could have that connection, right? Where they can trust that within that space, I am okay, right? I can
Mhm.
share,
Mm-hmm.
I can be me, we can talk about our business and all those different types of things. So trust is a big word for me, right? It's one of my favorite words in the whole wide world. Um, so Dallas, when you, as a coach, right? Because I'm also a coach, talk to us through how you've gotten individuals to trust through your brand. Because one of the things that people need to understand about branding, especially authentic brand, people need to trust it, right? And what
Mm-hmm.
it looks like. So talk about your experience through trust when you built out your brand.
Pretty much it's just sharing my experiences and what I've been through, the pitfalls, ups and downs, and all the rounds, and just again, just being my perfectly perfect self when I'm working with a client. And just let them know, hey, you're in good company. And it's about evoking those emotions and feelings and just encouraging them that they have the potential to do all things and to release that narrative and that self limiting belief that they
Mm-hmm.
have and pivot from that imposter syndrome into that positive, powerful mindset that you can do all things, that you have it within you. It's always in you, it's been in you. So let's just kind of like pivot that mindset and go from there. And again, like, how much does this mean to you?
Hmm.
What is
Yeah.
it doing for you? And
Mhm.
on top of that, too, let's also look at the cycles and patterns and toxic behaviors of which you inherited from family and
Mm-hmm.
release that, because it's no longer you. You're the chosen one. You're the one to break these generational curses because you answered that call. So now that you answered the call, what is your responsibility? How are you holding yourself accountable? And that's how I build the trust with them.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
that's dope. You brought some great things right there. So I'm gonna slide this next question over to Sheena because I
Hmm.
want to talk to her a little about community impact because I know that's your thing,
It is.
right? When it comes down to brand. But yeah, you are correct, right? What is our responsibility? But what is our responsibility to community? Because we sit here, we talk about, we build out these communities, we have our organizations, we have our businesses. And I'm big on chasing the bag. I think people, yes, you should make sure that your bank account is being full, right? But I
Hmm.
know when you chase your purpose and your purpose supports community, your bag will
Hmm.
always be full. So Sheena,
Hmm.
talk to me a little bit about community impact and branding.
Oh, to be selfish is to be broke.
Mm.
Word.
That needs to go on a t-shirt. That
I
yeah,
like that one. I'm writing that
t-shirt.
down right now.
Hmm.
So, um, I grew up in community. This
Yeah.
is a wellspring for me, honestly. Someone planted the seed, and I want to say many persons in my life growing up, they planted that seed of community and wanting to give back and be a part of the community. We've always been taught that there are those that are less fortunate than us, not only in finances but in love, in
Hmm.
morals, maybe, or even in just having someone to talk to, right? A
Yeah.
Hmm.
friendship or what have you. So we learned that there are different ways to give back to community. We know that we love kids, so we make sure we're taking care of the children. I have an affinity to help single moms. So some of the initiatives that I work with, they actually help out single moms build out their businesses as well. Um, so because a lot of moms, we're always working, we're doing things like we just do. This is like how I'm gonna make this next set of money, right? While helping out other people,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Then there's also that space of personal fulfillment. My personal fulfillment, honestly, is to be a part of someone's smile. It
Mm.
really
That's
is.
I like
sweet.
that.
It is to be a part of someone's smile, in a way that you don't have to ask me twice to help. I'm probably going to come running to you like, "Hey, I heard you're doing something. How can my business
Hmm.
support you, or how can I
Yeah.
personally support you?" I choose to do some things through SQ Productions, and I also choose to do things through myself as well. I did found We Give Because We Care 365 Days, which was founded in New York City. And the day I had to give that up and give it and gift it to
Mm.
my family, it's still going. It's alive and kicking. It's actually in 2 states now.
Hmm.
So now that it's growing and I'm watching it grow and I'm watching them revamp it, um, I'm realizing that once I'm doing good, then it's also going to plant a seed in someone else doing good as well.
Yes.
And so that's amazing, right?
Mhm.
Like if one person does something, then you go ahead and pass on that energy to someone else. And then you pass that on. I smile from that. I smile from seeing
Hmm.
someone who is just like overjoyed to just help.
So,
Yeah. So yeah, listen, clothes, shoes, you need food. What you need?
yeah, y'all know I love my community
Super
impact,
dope.
which is definitely why I started my nonprofit, was just because that's my
Yes.
community work. Like I had to have it.
Hmm.
Like Black Girl Everything does community work. We've got our scholarships. Like we do a lot of stuff community wise.
Yes.
But it's like when I started the Daisy Dream Project, I was like, yo, this is it. This
That
is
was everything. When I say
you saw
there's
that
no
Century Gym,
one
you
with
was like,
that, I was like, oh, it's here.
yeah, secret. She was one of the first people that knew I was gonna open the space a few years ago.
Aw.
And when I finally got it, it was just like, oh, this is great.
I'm
Hmm.
excited.
I know you was. I know you was. But even with that, as I go to this next question, I'm pass this one next to you because you mentioned it, the imposter syndrome. Um,
Hmm.
like
Mm,
even sometimes for me today, right? I look at myself and I'm just like, okay, so I run a school, I have a sensory gym. Now I also have a boutique shop.
Mhm.
Like, I own my own home. I'm in a healthy relationship. My children are happy. It's like, yo, what is this? It's called life,
Mm-hmm.
baby. But sometimes I have to remind myself that it's called life and it's capable of life that I worked for.
Mhm.
But like
Mm-hmm.
that imposter syndrome will come knocking at the back of your door and it just wants to take you hostage. So talk about it because I know you got a lot to say.
I think what that's concerned is again, like upbringing, we were taught that we deserve certain things, that we could accept certain things, that we desire certain things, and it was looked upon as a bad thing, and then you end up feeling guilty about it, and so you trained yourself to feel guilty about deserving all things. So when great things happen to you, your nervous system is chaotic, and you got to learn how to regulate the nervous system, and saying, this is okay. I deserve this. I can accept the fact that I'm in a healthy relationship. I own my own home. I have several
Hmm.
businesses. My kids are great. My mindset is amazing and wonderful. And just leave it at that because at that point, the little girl in you and the teenager in you is safe because you made her safe.
Yeah.
But when you're not connected with the little girl and the teenager in you and you haven't mothered her in a certain kind of way, then that imposter syndrome is going to pop up every now and again when things are going correct because your nervous system is so used to shit being blown up.
Mhm.
So it's
Mhm.
checking in with the little girl and checking in with the teenager because, like I always tell, like my mom and her side of the family, like when I look at the elders, and I'm like, y'all are still little boys and little girls running around in grown men and grown women's bodies,
Definitely.
you know? And so it's
Hmm.
like looking at that and it's, as an example for me to always be in tune with my little girl and ask her what she needs. What do you need? You need some ice cream? You gotta go swing in the park. What the hell you need? Let me know because we need to help each other out here because I'm the
Parking.
grown woman and I'm taking care of you.
Hmm.
Let's go on the swings, please.
Yes, exactly. You want to go paint your nails today? Like, what do you want to do? And then the spiritual part of me is like, we have to go to the park today and ground in the grass and center ourselves and be grateful for everything and
Yeah.
not worry anymore about, oh, I feel guilty because I know that I deserve love in my life. I know that I deserve to have an amazing partner. I know I deserve all of the things that I asked for, I prayed for, I dreamt about, and I deserve them and embodying that with
Mhm.
full blown authenticity, embodying it.
Hmm.
It's funny you say it that way because also as I'm when I'm in my other female groups, right, and we're talking,
Mhm.
and when imposter syndrome comes up, I always ask, and I ask myself this question because it pops up in me as well. Um,
Yeah.
it's how dare you deny the
Hmm.
things that you're blessed with?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It's really how dare you, whether you believe universe or God or Christ
Hmm.
or think
Hmm.
Allah, whoever. How
Whoever.
dare you?
Yep.
How
Hmm.
dare you? Like, who are you to be like, oh, I don't deserve this?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of times I think Black women, I feel like sometimes that's our downfall because of that same comment that you made just now that how dare you? Because when you're like, for me, for instance, wanting to be in bigger spaces to speak, it's like, how dare you have the audacity to feel like you can do that? Yes, the hell I can do it.
Yeah,
And that's
I
Word.
get
and
the
I'm going to
audacity.
show you.
Yes, let's keep doing that. Yes.
Right.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you shrink what's already been
Yes,
built to be bigger and larger than life?
absolutely.
How dare
Yep.
you?
Yes.
And they look at me and they're like, wait a minute. I'm like, yeah.
Mhm.
And you know how I don't know if y'all ever watched Insecure.
Hmm.
That's
I've
my show.
seen it a couple times, like a couple episodes.
But Issa Rae will go in that mirror and have a whole dialogue with herself. And that's
Hmm.
me in the mirror as well, because I'm like, listen, you gonna squat up or what? What we doing? Like, you
Hmm.
gonna cry about it? You gonna cry because you just
Hmm.
got this lesson? Like, no, you asked for it, you got it, you worked for it, you got it. Now it's time to go to the next level, and it's not gonna be easy, but you can
No,
do it
it's
because you got
not.
here. Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
it shows up so many different ways.
Yeah, because if you look back at your life 5 months ago, 5 years ago, and the struggles and adversities that you've overcome, and you're
Hmm.
still here to talk about it, you've gained wisdom, you've learned lessons, you've gained experience from all of those things. So when
Hmm.
you look at those things and you think about it, you're like, well, damn, like I could do this. This I've done that. This happened to me. That happened to me, and I'm still
Exactly.
Hmm.
here.
Yeah.
And they also it's gotten to be such a the flavor of the week, right? Calling somebody an imposter or becoming an imposter or the imposter syndrome
Hmm.
and things like that. It's it's always misused in this
Mhm.
world of social media, right? It's being
Mhm.
imposter syndrome is literally someone who's never did the work.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Like an imposter is someone who never did the work. So
Yep.
now it's
Mhm.
your turn to look back and say, you know what, I did this. I did
Mhm.
this, I cried here,
All of it.
I got punched in the eye. Listen.
Punch in the stomach,
Yeah.
and I got up.
Like,
I got
heartbroken,
up.
all that. Like what we went broke,
Yeah.
came back. Look, like what we
Mhm.
doing?
Mhm. So my sacred name is Phoenix, and I work with the Egyptian goddess Isis, who is my spiritual mommy. And I remember in 2021, I was creating a healing bracelet, and I heard "Emerge from the ashes like a phoenix rising, my beloved daughter," and I was like, "Huh?" And the reason why I was gifted that name is because every time near death experience, miscarriages, stillborn, abuse, whatever the case may be, I've always found a way to embody resiliency and rise up every time like a phoenix. So that is my sacred name. So whenever I'm going through something, I call on the energy of my sacred name for me to rise up
Mm.
Mm,
again. Because it's like, no, this ain't breaking me. Like, what? Do you know who I
that's
am?
right.
Whatever.
Word.
Word.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's me and all my Dr. Glow energy. And I
So
started going like
I'm a
this.
mermacorn, just to let
It'd be crazy. So, like, it's also about standing out. So I think, sometimes one of the things we do shrink, right? When we're in certain
Mhm.
spaces because we don't want to stand out too loud, right? Because um standing out, I find, can be intimidating at times, right? Because you got to kind of feel out the space. I'm a Cancer, so naturally when I walk into a space, I'm always in my shell. That's just for the first 5 minutes. But once I learn the space, you ain't shutting me up.
3 minutes.
Right.
Give Glow three
I,
minutes.
I am an Aquarius, and I just be like, hey, what's going on? By the time I walk into the door, what's up, girl? You know it. Oh, you hating on me? All right, let me shout a little bit 10 times more over here on this side of the room because I'm going to give you something to talk about because you'll be hmm Aquarius energy through and through. And my birthday is the same day as Bob Marley.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we share the same birthday. So every time February 6th pops around, I'm like, Bob Marley, bring some of that energy, that island energy over here. So because the yellow step out right now, we do the thing over there.
There we
That's
go.
just how we roll. Yes, sure.
I'm a Virgo.
My brother's a Virgo.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo. So there's a
Mhm.
lot about us. We will analyze, read the room, um, and then and then probably take over. So
Completely.
As you should. As
Like
you
I'm
should.
stomping through, like, I'm here.
Mhm.
I'm here. And it's the thing, like we don't
Mhm.
even say anything. We just walk in the room and then all of a sudden it's like almost like the DJ stops. You know, like it's like
Mhm.
and I'm like, oh,
Mhm. And then they start to play a
okay.
song.
Yeah. Yeah. So standing out is definitely important. And I just want for the people who are watching, it's like when you feel as if you can't stand out in the space, that's when you need to stand the strongest.
Hmm.
It's because there's something in the space that's trying to dampen you down because you need to
Mhm.
stand up in that particular space. So standing
Mhm.
out is, it took me a lot through some life work for me to realize I need to always stand up in spaces that I do. So now when I walk into spaces, I'm just like, yo, Dr. Glow is here. Yes, I'm here, darling. Hello.
Exactly.
And it's
I've
just like,
arrived.
yes, I have arrived, and you have
Mhm.
to move like that through all the things you do. I have arrived
Mhm.
when I walk into Walmart. I don't care. Like, yeah, y'all
That's
see
Exactly.
right.
me.
Everywhere I was taught that everywhere you go is your runway.
Word.
Mhm. And it's funny you mentioned runway because I used to produce fashion shows in New York City for plus size models of all shapes, heights, and sizes from 2010 to 2013. And it was when I found out that I was an empowerment coach, life coach, whatever you want to call me, at that point in time, because all the casting calls I would do when I would coach the girls runway, every woman came to me with some type of body image issues, some type of trauma,
Hmm.
something. And I found myself sharing my story and coaching. And I tell them, when you get on the runway, I want you to just like stomp that anger out, the trauma out, whatever the case may be, and be the baddest bitch you can be on the runway. I don't
Mhm.
care what happened the day before. When you're on that runway, I want you to own everything that you are as a person, as a woman, as a feminine goddess energy, as a spiritual being having a human experience. That's what I want you to embody all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't bite of that. I think one of my most powerful things I did was for my 44th birthday this summer, I did a completely nude photo shoot
I
in
saw
my
that.
yard.
Ooh,
My chocolate skin was glistening outside.
yes, I'm
I was
here
just
for
standing
it.
there, and first of all, all my neighbors could see up in
That's
my
a
yard too. I didn't even care.
magazine.
I was just out there like,
Mhm,
but it was one
exactly.
of the most powerful things I've done in my entire life, right?
Hmm.
And I was just like, oh wow, this is different. So now I was just like, yeah, I see me, you see me
Wasn't
too.
it free? Wasn't it freeing?
It was so freeing, and it just released so much that I didn't realize it was
Hmm.
going to release throughout that process, and I've been better
Hmm.
for it since then,
Hmm.
much better for it. So
Mhm.
one of our last questions I'm gonna kind of go slide into with you guys is really about legacy, right?
Hmm.
So if you want to talk about how brands can build legacies for other Black women businesses and for generations to come, what would be a
Hmm.
couple of things or tips that you would suggest? And we're going to start with you, Sheena,
Um, take on a mentee,
or
um,
two.
or two. Create a space that is welcoming for those who want to know what it is you do and how you do it. But
Mm-hmm.
don't just create the space to have people to talk to or just to bark orders at. You're
Yeah.
creating a space to create relationship. We learn a lot more in our relationships than we do when you're in a classroom or what have you. Really create an authentic relationship with those that you can embark a little bit more about who you are, and then also be adamant on learning from them as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The sharing of information it goes both ways. I don't know everything. I don't want to. The day I learn everything is the day I die,
Yep.
right?
I
So
say it all the time.
it's the day I die. Like I don't want to know everything, but I do want to be in community, and in community we're sharing. We are
Mm-hmm.
we are helping one another. Another thing is also create, if you can't get into that personal, also have that outlet, like that one-on-one in person, but have that outlet even on. That's what social media was really intended for. Don't go on
Hmm.
there to complain and moan and want to troll or whatever they call it nowadays. I don't know, but at the end of the day it's really to put good back in there and let people start giving their reports about how they're doing, ask questions, share information in those spaces as well, and show up for the next
Hmm.
generation.
Yeah.
um, Go not necessarily to your alma mater if you don't have one. Volunteer to go to the community center and say, hey, I want to show up in this way. Do you have any opportunities? Really give of yourself in these spaces that are a part of your community.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Does what do you think when it comes down to legacy? How would you build it out?
I'm living in my legacy.
Word. Ooh, dope. I like that.
I'm living in my legacy and I'm showing up, like Sheena
Mm-hmm.
mentioned. I utilize my writing as a part of living in my legacy. I use Substack. And so, Substack, I share my journey of authenticity, truth, freedom, all of those things. And I
Mm-hmm.
utilize that as a way for people to not only see me and experience me, but to like comment and utilize their voices. And within that platform, I actually am able to teach and to share and to also learn. As Sheena was saying, I got to piggyback off of that because, like I said, I'm an avid learner. So utilize the platforms like social media or my Monday night sofa conversations just to have that community and help and share and have them ask questions that are thought provoking for me, or me asking thought provoking questions of them to get their mind going and to see, okay,
Mhm.
like where do you want to go in your life? Like what sets you apart? What is your purpose? Do you know what your purpose is? How can I help you find it? You answered some type of call when you were born. You know, your life is designed a certain kind of way. So
Mm-hmm.
how are we utilizing it? Like what are all your gifts? Let's put them to work. Don't let one gift sit on the sidelines because you need all of them to
Mhm.
embody exactly who you are so you can feel happy, whole, and complete at the end of the day. And then I also share my story. 2011, I almost died. I had fibroids, they got infected. I woke up in the hospital the 11th day, lips blue, body gray, was just near death, and I had to have emergency surgery. And I was my deathbed, shoulda, coulda, woulda girl. And I tell people that story. Don't wait until the last minute. oh, until something drastic happens to live your life and live in your legacy. Do it today, do it now in real time because we're not promised tomorrow. We know our birth date, we don't know our death date. And that dash, that window is very small. We think life is short, but it's also long. So we don't know
Mhm.
when that time is going to come. And I always tell people, I don't want you to be on your deathbed before you take your last breath. And the feelings that you have is regret. I want you to have the feeling of peace and I did everything that I was supposed to do
Mhm.
that made me smile and made me happy at the end of the day. And that's how I live in the legacy. And that's what I teach people to do, live in their legacy. Not just leave it, but live in it.
Yeah.
Because when you're 6 feet under or pre-weeded or whatever, people express how you feel to each other. Because
Mhm.
when you're gone and you've transitioned, if someone's like, "Oh my God, Sheena was such a great person," you can't answer them from the grave.
No, you cannot.
you know, express how you feel now, today, in real time, and that's how
Yes.
I choose to live in my legacy. I just don't want to leave one. I want to live in it and experience it to the full of its capacity. Because when you think about all these celebrities that pass on, and she was a great, and she was an icon, and she was a legend, what's she gonna do? Dig up herself 6 feet down from the grave
Say
and be
thank
like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." No, no,
Yo, I don't think I'm ever going to say I'm going to leave a legacy again in my life.
live in it.
live in
I
it.
had a
Yes.
whole
Oh
T-shirt,
my
a
goodness.
T-shirt.
Yo, first of all, I got my quote from my t-shirts I'm making about y'all because I just got them here. And I'm just like, no. Okay. To
Yes,
be
live
show
in
business to be
it.
broke. Okay. I am living
Mhm.
in my legacy. Like those are amazing
Yes,
gems.
Hmm.
They
absolutely.
lead
You
their
have
whole life
to.
through.
Yeah.
Excited. Watch. And it's gonna be okay because at the bottom of the t-shirt it's gonna have your names on it. I'm gonna give y'all credit.
Oh.
Much appreciated.
I shall give you credit for your quote. I'm not gonna take it.
I I'm actually working on a book of quotes based on my journey to authenticity, freedom, and truth. It's going to be a whole bunch of quotes. Just a book of quotes because I have a book of affirmations, 365 days of affirmations for the mind, heart, body, and spirit. This is going to be maybe 100 quotes of my life journey, just a whole bunch of quotes because sometimes people have a short attention span. So I think quotes are like a powerful punch, and it's just like something
It
very
is.
small but it's
Mhm.
impactful and meaningful at the same time.
That
I
makes
love it.
sense. That does
Hmm.
make sense. With our sorority, with Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, we we
So let
write.
me drop that right now.
Yeah, just heads up.
Right?
You know, but we write notes and we have things that we send not only to St. Jude, like small notes of
Oh, that's
the things
beautiful.
that we
From my
said.
book. Oh, here we go.
And then we also do the same for, like, again, single mothers. It's just really on my heart. I'm a single mom, so it's like, listen,
Hmm.
sometimes we need that pick me up. It's like, listen, don't cry about it. Put the stilettos on and walk it out. Like, it's literally, it's literally those type of things that we're telling others because you never know who's watching. Sometimes you can
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
see and feel someone's energy. And so just being able to write on an index card or something that's really pretty or, give to someone that's not only helping to nurture others, like they get tired
Hmm.
too. Like
Hmm.
they get
Yes, girl,
exhausted.
I get time. I'm tired every single day.
Yes.
Tapping into this one, tapping into that one, doing this, doing that. You're like, "Ugh,
You're so
how can I
exhausted.
serve myself today?"
So definitely writing notes is something important, and those quotes will definitely help a lot of people, especially when they're lost for words. To have it in a
Mhm.
book, you want something that's authentic, especially since everybody has something on Google, right? You can Google
Yeah.
quote for this or quote for that. No,
Mhm.
I want something that has never been used before. So we write our own, but having even a guidebook like yours would be
Yeah.
amazing.
So at this now, speaking of that, can I offer you ladies an affirmation from my book if you would give me a number for 1 to 365? Gloria, Dr.
Three.
Glow. Three. Okay. She said three. So three says, page. Oh, I see pure love and beauty when I look in the mirror. I see a powerful masterpiece when I look in the mirror. I see my flaws and imperfections, and I love everything about myself.
Mm.
Somebody just had to put that on my mirror. I love it. Thank you.
No problem. I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you.
Perfect.
Sheena,
9.
9. So 9 says, Self-love includes standing in my worth, my truth, my integrity, and my respect.
Mm.
Mm. I love stuff like this because it always hits exactly the way it's supposed to hit when it's supposed to hit.
Okay.
Mhm.
Look, delete the
Yes,
text.
ma'am.
Okay, hold on. So I have somebody on Facebook that asked you to read number 5.
Number
Oh.
5. 5 says, um, hmm, I continue to keep pushing regardless of the challenges I face. These challenges make me stronger, wiser, and more confident, and for that I am thankful.
You know, that really applies to her. So that's dope. Because I know who she is. Dope.
Can
That's
I see
dope.
the
That's
book?
dope.
Can we see the book?
Yeah, put the book
Sure.
up. So how can people get the book?
It's on Amazon. Just type in 365 Days of Affirmation, and it's under my sacred name, Phoenix. Because I
Oh,
was
people
in,
need to get that.
Mm-hmm.
yes. And every time I do it, people are like, it feels like an oracle card reading. I'm like, but it's not as an affirmation. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Although I did create an affirmation deck under Goddess Isis and actually to create a soul awakening affirmation deck. So I'm all about writing and affirmations and encouragement and inspiration and things like that. But I wanted to offer you guys that because I think it's powerful when you pick a number and you're intentionally choosing a number and it aligns with whatever it is that you're going through in your life.
It really is.
Yeah, that is definitely dope. So what I would also love, because people are asking about the book, is that you send me an image of the book and
Sure,
it's linked and
absolutely,
I will post it on my page
absolutely.
and
Hmm.
drop it, my recap email when everyone wants to watch this video. I'm like, hey, buy her book here. Click here. Click. Everyone
Yeah, yeah. It
to the
took
book.
me 6 years to write it. I started creating affirmations on Facebook because I'm like, well, I'm going through something and maybe other people are going through the same thing too.
Yeah.
And that was in 2014. And by 2017, my spirit was just like, email the affirmations to yourself. And in 2019, I found it. And I'd done like maybe 187 affirmations. I'm like, screw it, let me just do 365.
One for every day.
Yes,
And then
That
read the
is
absolutely.
first one again on the leap year.
Yep.
yeah, that is
And you
definitely,
just,
definitely dope. Definitely dope.
mhm.
But ladies, as we're approaching a whole hour, this has been so much fun. I want to
Mhm.
thank you both for sharing space with me on this lovely Monday night. And for
Mhm.
all the people who have viewed this and are people going to watch it on the Black Girl Everything YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, please go subscribe to the channel. There's well over 225 videos, I think, at this point. Sheena's on her. She's like number 8. So I'm number 9. That's how long we've been around. Back in the day.
Wait a
Um,
minute.
yeah, it's like circa 2000.
Mhm.
Like, literally. But so I'm just really excited about this panel. This has been an amazing conversation, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work with both of you and reading my affirmation book that I'm gonna order it today. And
Okay.
just really to share space with people. So before we just check out, what is one last thing you want to say out to the peoples? Sheena?
Oh my goodness. She's always putting me on the spot.
Oh, and also sharing your social media and all that other stuff so people can follow you.
Yes, so just make sure you are you. Um,
Mhm.
check your head, check your shoulders, check your stomach, and then all the way down to your feet. And then know that you are aligning with your purpose, with peace, prosperity, and purpose. Live on purpose, live in peace, and you will prosper.
That is
Mhm.
beautiful, Sheena. How can people follow you?
Well, you can follow me at SCP_LLC on Instagram.
Perfect.
Like all
Thank
the
you.
other ones.
So let's go
Fun and
ahead. What are you going to
easy.
leave the people with?
Um, Look in the mirror every day and appreciate, love, respect, and honor who you are mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, all of it, all of it. And say to yourself, I'm grateful for you. I appreciate you and I love you dearly, no matter what. And even on those days that are challenging, lean into the fuel and the fire in your belly and not into the fear.
That is dope.
Thank you, darling.
Like, I really like
And
you as a human being. Like, we're going to have lunch and
oh,
stuff. Like
yes,
Sheena,
yes, we
Sheena knows I
are.
love her. I go to Virginia to see her. She be here. She
Yep.
pops. So like, you know, you like my peoples
I
now.
want to
Like,
see
I
you.
just can't
Like,
wait to
this is
like
not
say,
listen.
hey, it's Sunday. What are you doing? You want to like sit in the park and
Right?
like read affirmations?
Exactly. I would so do that. You can follow me on all social media platforms. I'm the only Dillis, Dhyls, or Authentically Dillis, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and all that. But I would love everyone to follow me on dillis.substack.com because that's where all of the affirmational, deep, authentic, free, truthful content resides right over there on Substack.
That is so dope. And everybody knows
Mhm.
me. I'm Dr. Glow. You can follow me at everything Black Girl, everything, and also follow my Century Gym at the Daisy Dream Project. Really excited. So we have Retreat 2025 coming up, which is March 14th through the 16th. It is that event is now on fire. Like it's like January kicked in. Everybody's like the retreat. I'm like, yeah. Let's get it. Let's get it. We also have brought a new speaker today. We have 3 new guests that came on today. So it's really an amazing event. She was at my first one back in 2021 when people first were back allowed back outside next to other people. And it's been going strong since then. So again, if you're interested in coming, we also have an amazing day pass for folks who can't make it through the entire weekend. You can find all that on my website, which is blackgirleverythingllc.com. And also make sure you stop at the Powered by BGE store. Everybody come
Mhm.
support the now 2 more businesses start came in today. I got their products in my household. So they'll be on the shelves as on Friday. So now we have a total of 26 businesses in the space. So
Very
and
good.
growing. You can be on the shelf too. I will make space for you, bring in another high top and put you on it. So just let me know if you want to come into the space. But again, thank you, ladies, for tuning in with us today. Thank you for everybody who's watched, who's commented, who's shared, who's sharing the space with us. And everybody having a fantastic, amazing January. We got plenty of month to get some actual results. So let's get to work. Peace.
Absolutely.